Hi everybody, what's up? My name is Juan. I am just one reader and I am here with a book haul. A book haul which I should preface by saying that today I am feeling so superior to everybody else on this planet because I feel like I deserve a medal, a badge of honor. I probably deserve to be recognized and acknowledged as a saint because I have restrained myself and controlled myself. And I have not bought books in quite a long time when I used to do book hauls pretty consistently, like every other month or so. And this is my first book haul in a long while. I was able to, control myself for a while. Hopefully it will be my last, or at least the last one in a long time, because I do enjoy the feeling of satisfaction and of self-assurance that comes with realizing that you can control yourself and that you don't need to buy books every single day. But anyway, I did go to Buenos Aires, Argentina to spend the holidays in December. So of course, books happened, right? If you didn't know, Buenos Aires is one of the capital cities of the world when it comes to books. It is a city that is filled with bookstores. There's entire streets of just bookshops. It's incredible. So I did get a lot of books, like suitcases of books. Most of them are psychoanalytical and academic texts that I will not show you because who cares? But I did get some fiction that I think is really cool. So I'm just going to start and hope you enjoy. The whole objective and purpose of these book hauls that I do is to get you guys commenting down below in the comment section to tell me if you recognize any of these books, what do you know, or what have you heard of them? If you have read them, of course, let me know what you thought of them, or if you just saw something interesting, something that you liked, or something that you want to talk about, please let me know. The whole objective of these videos is to engage in the comments, right? So, without any further ado, this is my first and hopefully last book haul, but not really last book haul of 2018. So first, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I got some Argentinian literature. Very briefly, I got this book, which is Las Aventuras de la Chinairón. This is by Gabriela Cabezón Cámara, and it was a recommendation from a bookseller there in Buenos Aires. I just told him, give me something Argentinian, and he pointed me to that. Whoa, I just dropped some books. Anyway, I also got some Samantha Schweblin, who was very popular last year for her novel or novella Fever Dream, which is very good. And this is her new novella. It is called La Respiración Cavernaria, which is an amazing, dark, haunting title. And it is beautifully illustrated. Although I will say some of the illustrations in here are kind of right there in that gap of innocent and just borderline terrifying, just traumatic. Then I also got two novellas by Argentinian writer César Aira, who is very popular for his magical realism. These are El Mago and Cumpleaños. So that's all the Argentinian literature that I actually got. Now, moving on to something else. Nonfiction. Okay, so when people ask me about whether I like nonfiction or not, the official version that I say is that I don't really like nonfiction. I usually just read fiction and that's it. But looking back on my reading years and on my reading experiences that I've had over the years, I have to realize, and I have to prove myself wrong, because I have to realize that some of my favorite, most enjoyable experiences have come from reading nonfiction about topics and subject matter that I adore. So for example, my favorite book of 2017 was a nonfiction, Apple of My Eye, which was all about New York, which is one of my favorite topics ever. And I just had the best moment, the best experience. So I started to look for more nonfiction, right? But more nonfiction that really specializes, that really delves into things that I am really interested on. So I got a couple of those. First, I have this, I don't know if it is a biography or if it's just a book on Woody Allen. Woody Allen is one of my idols. He is like one of the last geniuses that we had. If you ask me, this book is actually called Woody Allen, The Last Genius. This is actually in Spanish because it is in Spanish, meaning that it was written by a Spanish writer, Natalio Grueso, and the title of the book is Woody Allen, El Último Genio. And he, the author, actually knows or used to know Woody Allen. You can actually see them both here, the author with the man himself. And I am obsessed with Woody Allen. I adore his films. I have not watched all of it, all of his filmography, because he's just very prolific, but I love him. My favorite thing ever on screen is probably the first 10 minutes of Manhattan. Manhattan is my favorite movie, and yeah, the man just blows me away. I love him. He's one of those people that I always admire and look up to, and he's just, you know, Woody Allen. So of course I want to read more on that topic. And then, okay, this is gonna be very funny. I got probably the two gayest nonfiction books possible. And they are on the topic of Broadway musicals and composers of musicals and that whole business, which I love. It's a topic that really interests me. So the first one is On Sondheim. This is by Ethan Mordden, and I picked this up because I was watching an episode of Theater Talk, which is a series of interviews that you can check out on YouTube, Theater Talk. They are great interviews with people on show business, on theater business in particular, on Broadway. And they were interviewing Ethan Mordden, the author of this book, and they were interviewing him on Sondheim and about, you know, the character of Stephen Sondheim and his writing and as a composer and as a lyricist. And of course, the interview alone was so engaging and so interesting. I loved the author. He was so passionate about this topic. And Stephen Sondheim himself is one of my heroes. He's just like another Woody Allen for me. He is one of my idols. I haven't seen or listened to everything that he's done because, again, the man is just like a mammoth, a mountain. But I love him. He has written the soundtrack to my life, and I just revere him. So that's another nonfiction for me. And the other one is by another huge composer, Leonard Bernstein. He was the composer of West Side Story, which is a musical that you have probably heard of, and if you haven't, what are you doing? West Side Story is one of my favorite musicals. I have sung that musical. I sing it every day, honestly, every single day. I love it. And this is his nonfiction. This particular copy is in Spanish, and it is beautifully illustrated. It has a lot of really pretty color illustrations and a lot of, you know, just notes, and he explains probably like basic musical theory here. And this book is called Young People's Concerts, and to my understanding, this is Leonard Bernstein, this huge mammoth musical composer, explaining and teaching you music. So of course I'm here for this. That's all the nonfiction that I got. Now moving on to fiction. First, I want to talk about these two things that are recommendations from the same person. He is a person that you might be familiar with. His name is Matthew Sharapa. He's here on BookTube, and he is amazing. And so the first book that I got because of him was Elmet by Fiona Mosley, and this was a finalist for the Man Booker Prize last year. It was huge. I never really thought I would end up buying it and reading it, but he, Matthew, included it in his favorites of the year, and he praised it so highly that, of course, I bought it. So Matthew is responsible for that one. And then the other one that he's responsible for me buying is The Quick and the Dead by Joy Williams. Okay, first of all, let's take a moment, to appreciate the magnificence and the bizarreness of this cover. Okay. Oh, the sun. So Matthew Sharapa has a series of videos on his channel that he calls build your own recommendations. And in that series of videos, he asks you to ask him for a recommendation, telling him what your taste is like or what you have previously enjoyed, etc. So I commented and I asked him, hey Matthew, I am completely obsessed with the book Swamplandia by Karen Russell. It is beautifully written. The language is just lush and mesmerizing, and it's wacky and weird and wonderful and exuberant. And he, just like that, thought of this, and he recommended this to me. This was a customized recommendation. So The Quick and the Dead by Joy Williams. If it is anything like Swamplandia, I am bound to love it. While I was in Buenos Aires, I found a lot of small independent bookstores that sold books in English. And I encountered a lot of authors that I wanted to read more of. And so I got these 3 things that I just couldn't not buy. So the first one is The Rules of Attraction. This is by Bret Easton Ellis. He wrote American Psycho, which is one of my new favorite books. And so I want to read more by him. And this is, I'm just going to read you a small fragment from here. It says, The Rules of Attraction is an incisive, controversial, and startlingly funny which examines a group of affluent students at a small, self-consciously bohemian liberal arts college on America's East Coast. So give me a setting, a school setting, pretentious kids, douchey kids behaving poorly, and of course I'm here for you. Another one that I got was The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter. I actually already owned a copy of this, but it was in Spanish. And so this one is the original in English, and it's the Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition. It is beyond beautiful. So of course I had to buy it. And the other one was The Adventures of the New Cut Gang. This is by Philip Pullman. Philip Pullman is an author that I idolize, and I am always on the lookout for his stuff. And this is one of those rare jewels that you never find. I mean, I had never come across a copy of this book. This is one of his earlier middle grade adventure novels, and I am so excited to have this in my collection. Okay, and finally in this book haul, I have some short story anthologies. I really like reading anthologies because in an anthology you get a bunch of different writers. So you get a bunch of different genres, different voices, different styles, and when an anthology is well put together, the experience is just amazing. So I got 2 of them. This is the Best American Short Stories of 2004 by Lori Moore, and this includes some very famous voices such as T.C. Boyle, Annie Proulx, Alice Munro, Sherman Alexie, and more. And then the other one, which I am really excited to own, is this hardback, big, ancient, used copy of, oh man, wait, the lighting is just bizarre here right now. There we go. This is the Best American Short Stories of the Century. This is a compilation edited by John Updike, and it includes some people that you might have heard of. I mean, some. Like Ernest Hemingway, I think his name definitely rings a bell. F. Scott Fitzgerald, I think he wrote a book on a Gatsby character. I might be wrong. Tennessee Williams, Philip Roth, Annie Proulx, Joyce Carol Oates, Alice Munro, Ann Beattie, John Cheever, Willa Cather, Raymond Carver, William Faulkner. So yeah, this just sounds amazing. And that's it, guys. That is my first and hopefully last book haul of 2018. I hope to read your comments down below and start a conversation. I am Juan, I am just one reader, and I will see you next time.